The following program is an Animal House radio production.
Mike is selling his property somewhere up in Aurora where he lives, so if you guys can pay some good coin, he may sell it. He's looking to expand, as always. Dr. Mike! One up from everybody else. We love it. So, Nicola, what is going on with Toronto Animal Services? It's cold outside. It's the middle of winter.
It is.
You know, what's going on? What do we do?
You know what? We thought it would be very good if we reminded people that pets are so sensitive to weather changes, particularly, we're having a crazy winter. We're having 16 degrees, but we're also having like minus 3,000, and those are the conditions you need to bring your pets inside, particularly your indoor-outdoor cats. I, of course, and we at Toronto Animal Services certainly advocate keeping your cat inside all the time. My guys are inside. They have a great time. They look out the window at the squirrels, and you can see them thinking, oh, it would be so much fun to go chase it, but you know what? They're safer inside. But at this time of year, we see cats brought in with frostbitten ears, frostbitten toe pads, and, you know, it's kind of unfortunate, but those little frostbitten tips of ears can and do fall off. I'm sure Mike has seen cats like this, and
all the time.
We had Frosty last year. He'd been outside for some time. He had frostbite on his ears, and he had little round ears. He was named Frosty. He did find a forever home, but he was one of the lucky ones. A lot of cats outside will not make it through those really cold nights if they are left outside. So bring your pets in, bring your cats in. If you know of a cat that doesn't seem to have a home and he's subject to those conditions, give us a call. And we can help you bring him in.
Now, do you have any? I was going to ask you about this. This is kind of cool because Angela, someone who works for us, found there's shelters that you can homemade shelters that you can build.
Yeah.
That if you have a cat that you know is an outdoor cat and he happens to be you're feeding him but you don't want to take him in, he's outside or she's outside. There's little shelters that you can actually build for these guys, so at least they can get out of the wind. Which that's the biggest problem. It's not necessarily the temperature; it's the wind chill.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you know about these things? I was intrigued.
Yeah, they almost look like giant Rubbermaid containers flipped upside down.
Uh-huh.
I believe they can be insulated. You throw in some appropriate bedding, straw, something that doesn't wick moisture, that kind of thing. There's all kinds of stuff out there, and one of the great resources, and I don't know if they have this particular item, but the Humane Society of the United States has an extensive website all about, even for shelters for your dog. If you're going to build, if you want something for your dog, how to raise it, insulate it, an appropriate size for the breed, because as you well know, if it's too big, dog's body heat won't keep that shelter warm. But they're a great resource, and if you check that website, I'm sure they have something for, those feral cat colonies. There's a lot of people in Toronto who, give their time and resources to look after these little forgotten creatures. And yeah, you can make some great little shelters for them, like you say, keep them protected from the elements. Give them a chance.
Now, before I let you go, I got to ask you this question. It's our survey of the night, or debate of the night, or topic of the night, whichever one you want to call it. I'm just naming. It's the face-off of the night. Okay. What is your New Year's resolution for your pet?
For my pet?
For your cats.
Yeah. For my there's one right here. I'll ask him.
What's his name?
This is the Tasmanian Devil.
Oh.
He's a Toronto Animal Services boy. Came to me at 5 weeks old, very, very sick, and you'd never know it now. He's a little shameless, and I think actually he's telling me now he's going to endeavor to be less shameless.
Shameless?
And not show his belly to everyone who walks in the door.
Oh, so he's one of the... He's a chubby little one who wants to show himself off. He's like the stripper version of Cat.
He's going to try and become humble. I think that's what he's going to endeavor to do.
To become more humble.
More humble.
Now,
more humble cat.
What's your New Year's resolution for your pets?
For my... Oh.
Do you have a particular, we're talking about, I don't know, take him to the vet, get his teeth done. What's your New Year's resolution?
Well, my oldest guy is going to be 10 this year, so I said to him just yesterday that he's going to have to go into the vet and get a geriatric profile to make sure everything's aging well. So, good annual exam, make sure everybody's nice and healthy, because they are getting a little bit older.
By the way, that was Aaron laughing at me saying the word wonderful. He makes fun of me on a regular basis because of that. He repeats himself and I say the word wonderful, so there you go.
But you know what? If you can count how many times he says wonderful or absolutely during a show, you could fill the dictionary. I'm telling you.
He's a happy boy.
I know, he is a happy boy. That's Nicola from Toronto Animal Services. And Nico, how can you get in touch with Toronto Animal Services? Give us all the details. The 411.
You can give us a call at 416-338-PAUSE. That's our 24/7 general inquiry number. You have a complaint, a comment, a question, you need to know where our resources are, give us a call and check us out online at www.toronto.ca/animal services. Lots of information there for you.
Awesome. You have yourself a great night. Take care of yourself. And remember, if the cookie isn't eaten, I just come up with these slogans. If the cookie is not eaten, it must be a s'mores.
Crazy.
Guy's nuts.
Crazy.
I love it. Have a great night, Nicola.
You too, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
That makes sense. If the cookie's not eating s'mores, because the s'mores isn't a real cookie. It's got marshmallows in the middle.
Okay. Where is it, boss?
I think every week I should end that segment off with
Please
something.
don't.
But it's funny.
Okay.
I think it's funny.
So we going on to our New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, continuing on the New
Go
Year's
ahead, you go on.
resolutions. Now, I wanted
Your
to
turn.
tell you, okay, obviously we got a couple things. Now, this is written actually in
In hieroglyphics? In Spanish? What is it written in?
it was in the Egyptian walls and the pyramids, and I'm taking them down. Okay. Now, obviously, safety. Keeping pets safe is something pet owners should not take for granted. However, take a moment to assess the toxic chemicals used in the house or the yard. Are they necessary?
Right.
There's tons of things. You talk about this week out, week in, about the toxic problems that can actually kill your animals. I mean, these are stuff that. What happens if you have rats in the yard that you're trying to get rid of
Rat
rats?
poison's a common one. Yep,
These are
very common
horrible
one.
things. And you know what? Not only that, there are people out there that are sick and twisted. They just buy this stuff at Home Depot or wherever it is, and they just put them in the yards. They put them in parks, and dogs just eat them.
Yeah, we've had a couple of instances of that happening. Yeah. So,
Sick people. So
a pet safe house is really important.
yeah, and
Agreed.
a safe yard. And always make sure if you have a home, you have a backyard, walk through it once every 2 weeks. Make sure you pick the stuff up from your dog, too,
Right.
before you walk through it. But walk through it and make sure you don't see anything in there. And if you do see some stuff that you don't know what it is, throw it out.
Right.
Because if you wouldn't eat it, your dog shouldn't eat it.
Right. And the two common outside ones, of course, we've talked about before, rat poison, which is very commonly used, and antifreeze. Those are the two big killers of pets that, if you call the animal poison control, that's probably the two number one cases of chemical poisons that they see. And, of course, all the internal stuff, you want to keep the chocolate and onions and the mushrooms and all those things away from them. And remember, prescription drugs, another common one. Make sure all your prescription drugs are high and away and in a medicine cabinet, because that will also cause a lot of problems for your pet.
We're going to take the final break of the show. Remember, the show is brought to you by Hill's Pet Nutrition, the makers of Science Diet and prescription pet food. Ask your local veterinarian for some more information, because there's some great information, or visit www.feedingisbelieving.ca. Call the program, 416-785-0680. Tell us, what is your New Year's resolution for your animal? Back on Animal House Radio, brought to you by Hill's Pet Nutrition, the makers of Science Diet and prescription pet food. Ask your local veterinarian. Law and order. In New York, frogs may be taken from their ponds from June 16th to September 20th, but only between sunrise and sunset, because they'll turn into vampires. These are actual laws. In Pennsylvania, no one is allowed to shoot bullfrogs on Sunday. Once again, Sunday, holy day, can't shoot bullfrogs. Also in Pennsylvania, if a driver sees a team of horses, they are to pull on the side of the road and cover their machine with a blanket or dust cover that has been painted to blend in to the scenery. They should update these laws. In the event that a horse refuses to pass a car on the road, the owner of the car must take their car apart and console the parts in a nearby foliage. Whatever that word is.
Foliage.
Foliage, it's the same thing.
Even better. What is foliage? Do you know?
It's a thing that comes out of your teeth when you don't brush.
Oh, boy.
No?
Okay.
Info at animalhouseradio.com. And once again, finally, on Law & Order this week, in Arizona, it is illegal. Remember, this is illegal. Thank goodness it's illegal. It is illegal for donkeys to sleep in bathtubs. It isn't, and this is an actual law. It is illegal for donkeys to sleep in bathtubs. Go into the phone lines here at 416-785-0680. Your New Year's resolution